Hey, what is up you guys? We are back with a brand new video, and today we're checking out one of the three most hyped up Beyblade X releases of this entire year, and that is the return of a classic bit beast remastered and redefined in an all new Bey, the BX-38 Crimson Garuda. To Karatomi and the development department, they're starting to come in with guns blazing when it comes to these newest and these latest releases of the Beyblade X Beys, pulling out all the stops and creating some of the best Beys to ever come from their facility. And Crimson Garuda is no exception to this. What makes Crimson Garuda and most of the releases of Season 2 so far so iconic and so special is the return of the gimmicks. Season 2's very first release, Silver Wolf, featured a free spinning gimmick on the blade, which had actually performed and functioned flawlessly and was actually very useful in a battle. However, Crimson Garuda, the gimmick lies with the bit, being the very first bit in Beyblade X to have a functioning gimmick, of which can change modes in the middle of a battle. However, how effective it is and how functional it is, we are here today to unbox it and find out for ourselves. So flipping it over and checking out the back, where we could get a closer look into the Bey's gimmick, and in the parts that we can see that this Bey has two modes associated with it, a high mode as well as a low mode. As we all have learned by now, height does matter quite significantly when it comes to Beyblade X. The taller the Bey is, the better its stamina and its defenses are, versus the lower it is, the greater the attack potential can be. But seeing this is quite interesting, as Crimson Garuda can alternate between both high and low, so I am absolutely excited to see how this bit actually works and how the mode changes translate into battle performance. Crimson Garuda is a right spinning balance type Bey and the newest addition to the balance type Beys in Beyblade X. Aside from that, this Bey comes with two brand new parts, first being that of the Crimson Garuda blade, a beautiful remastered work of the fabled Vermilion bird, Dranzer. With this release, we now have the blade breakers from the Bakuten Shoot era reimagined into the modern Bey, with Beys such as Weiss Tiger, Black Shell, Cobalt Dragoon, and now finally, Crimson Garuda. The Ratchet that this Bey comes with is the 470 Ratchet, which I do believe is the only other 470 Ratchet to be released outside the Tyranno beat in the Random Booster Volume 3 set, so it'll be nice to have another 470 Ratchet to just add to the collection. And finally, the most prized part about this entire set, the Trans Point. Trans Point is the newest balance type bit that features a height mode change gimmick that activates on contact with the extreme line, and either lowering it or raising the Bey by 1 millimeter. So I don't know about you, but I'm just absolutely excited about Crimson Garuda. Not only is it just a badass name for a Bey, but I'm excited to see just how good it looks outside this box. So I say let's just unbox this badass and let's check out the all new BX-38 Crimson Garuda. Alright, and here we go, the contents within, and just right away, this Bey just looks absolutely amazing. Now the design is actually very unique, I guess you could say, in comparison to a lot of the other Beyblade X Beys. However, when you're looking at Crimson Garuda in the general shape, you can still see the representation it does have to the general shape of Dranzer Spiral and the Dranzer Beys, with that more of a rectangular look to the Beyblade's design. However, Crimson Garuda does have a unique design when it comes to looking at the inner plastic parts, It is hollowed out, likely for either absorption power when it comes to any type of defensive play or even a stamina gain right there. However, looking at the blade is very unique and the blade looks absolutely amazing. So you got these two blades over here that looks like it's going to provide for a good serious upper, and then you have these side blades right on the other side, the two smaller blades which offer more up for a smash attack. So essentially this is kind of like a hybrid between Shark Edge and Hell's Hammer. But the overall look and the design of just this blade, of the Crimson Garuda blade, this is just absolutely beautiful. It's a mix between silver and red. I think that's fantastic. The Garuda avatar right in the middle looks absolutely amazing as well. Overall, the design of this blade just looks absolutely fantastic. And then we have our 470 Ratchet. Now the 470 Ratchet is a decent ratchet, I guess you could say. The likelihood of the 470 being able to burst is about mid-range. It is a decent ratchet to use. It is better than the 480 as well as the 460 in my own personal opinion. But the 470 ratchet this comes with is just a nice beautiful crimson red with an even brighter red down in the center, which is definitely going to complement the Crimson Garuda blade as well. Alright, and the bit that I am the most excited about, the trans point. Now right away, the very first thing I am going to point about the trans point is the point bit on the top. It is a little bit smaller in circumference than the tip of the standard point bit or even the gear point bit. However, the biggest change is the protrusion in the center does actually stick out the way the point bit was originally intended to stick out. But right on the side right here, it has these two little wings right here. These wings right here are what is going to cause the Bey to change its height in battle. But overall, I am absolutely excited to test out Transpoint and see just how good this bit is, and to simply just see the gimmick in action and see if we can actually see and notice any performance differences between the different modes. Alright, but in the meantime, I say let's piece this badass together and let's check out Crimson Garuda fully assembled. Alright, and there we go, Crimson Garuda. This Bey looks so amazing. Looks absolutely amazing, not gonna lie. This thing looks incredible. But fully assembled down here, now if you flip it over, you can kind of see how the gimmick is gonna work. So as the Bey hits the accelerator rail, it's gonna twist and turn, and the sides right there on the ratchet is gonna go up above, therefore increasing the height by that millimeter, as you can see right in there. And then it hits the extreme line again, it's going to drop back down. It's going to be back down to a 60 height. So I think that's very incredible. I think it's very unique, a very unique concept to have that type of in-battle mode change. So I'm excited to get it tested out in the battle and kind of see the performance of Crimson Garuda in action. But I say let's get that stadium out now, and let's test spin Crimson Garuda, and then let's throw it in some good test battles. Alright, the stadium is out now. Today we're going to use the Takaratomi Extreme Stadium. This is the best stadium to use when it comes to testing out brand new Beys. Alright, so first we're going to test spin Crimson Garuda. I'm definitely curious to see how well the trans point actually functions in battle. So first we're going to launch it at a flat launch to kind of see if that mode difference, that mode change for the trans point differs from the original point bit with Leon Claw. There goes. There is your flat launch, moving around just like a stamina type. Just beautiful, spinning strong, spinning great, looks really good. You don't hear anything off about the Bey, but there it goes, holding down the center just like a champ. Alright, so now let's launch at an angle to see how it works as an attack type. There we go. Now let's just see if the bit actually changed when it hit that extreme line. It should have gone up. It almost did. It looks like it was just about there. It didn't hit it strong enough. Well, let's throw it in some test battles now. And let's just see how well Crimson Garuda performs in battle. Alright, so we got Weiss Tiger out and Crimson Garuda. Oh my god, right away. A burst. A burst right away. Weiss Tiger did take that. Didn't even get a chance to see Crimson Garuda in action. But let's give those guys another go. Let's just kind of see if we could get a better outcome in the battle. There we go. They're out. There we go. Alright, Crimson Garuda getting into the action now. You can see now that the height actually did raise. He is a lot taller than Weiss Tiger now, which I kind of see the issue of it being more likely to burst. But there we go. So he actually does take that with the stamina battle and with the spin finish. So that was actually pretty cool. Alright, so now we got Silver Wolf. This is that upgraded recommended combo by Takara Tomy with the 580 gear needle. So Crimson Garuda and Silver Wolf. So I have a feeling in a battle situation like this, the higher mode of Crimson Garuda, there goes a burst, epic. But the higher mode in Crimson Garuda when it comes to stamina battle is where I feel as if Crimson Garuda's high mode is going to shine. Other than that, I think the high mode, when it hits that accelerator rail, if you're going up against attack type, I do feel like that is going to cause Crimson Garuda to burst quite a bit. But in a matchup like this was actually a perfect example of the high mode actually doing wonders when it comes to a battle. But it's still able to get up under there and burst Silver Wolf. There we go. Good solid hit. So the one thing about the trans point is, unlike all the other bounce type bits, much like Elevate, it actually has a very low burst resistance. So I find that kind of interesting for it being able to switch from like attack and defense. But Silver Wolf still takes it out, even though that was still just a really good battle to have. Alright, but there you guys go. The brand new BX-38 Crimson Garuda. So first impressions, the Beys looks, the sheer design of it is just absolutely amazing. The way they designed this Bey is just flawless. I love the way they design it, and I also love the color representation for Crimson Garuda. However, as for performance, this Bey does seem to be a little underperforming in my opinion. However, that might just be because we are still getting used to how the trans point actually functions and how to actually use this Bey in battle. So we are definitely going to have to give it some tests. We're going to have to look into it a little bit more before we can ultimately say if its performance and stock combo is bad. However, I do think what's holding this Bey out quite a bit is going to be the Ratchet. Now, I do think switching out the Ratchet for another Ratchet might actually benefit Crimson Garuda. We are definitely going to have to check that out. Much like Cobalt Dragoon, just simply switching out the 260 and giving it the 360 completely changed the Bey's performance and increased its power and effectiveness in battle. So I do feel like that's going to be a similar situation with Crimson Garuda. But comment down below what you guys actually think of Crimson Garuda and whether this Bey actually met your expectations or if it was kind of a letdown. But that is everything for this video. I do appreciate you guys jumping in and watching, but stay tuned. We got more Beyblade X content coming out. We have Samurai Saber in the works right now, as well as a customization set with Night Mail. But in the meantime, have yourselves a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.